Hello there. It's finally from south of France, a little bit tired that I'm going to see this little chat with you today. What a long trip, but you see, we arrived, the sun is here. South of France is gorgeous, so let's enjoy. And one things we saw with David, my husband, was the things who kind of slap our face, the things who make us kind of shocked almost, was the sadness, the unhappiness. People are like, you know, you can walk on a terrace, have a little cup of coffee, which is pretty cool. The sun is here, and you see people. They're like, so we were talking about it, and how come they're so on this negative, low vibes? And I made the link with one of my colleagues at work in Florida who used to tell me, how do you do to be happy all the time? How do you do to be positive all the time? So I think that's what I want to talk to you about today, because it's so important to keep our vibes up, our happiness, our positiveness. And no matter what, of course, we all have our up and down in life, and sometimes it's not easy, and we're like, why these things happen to me? And myself, I had this hard time in life. Now, one thing is, we had this conversation with David, and I think it's the conclusion, it's the habits. So this is a circle, the repetition of. We live pretty much all the time our present or future experience through our past experience. And more we had a negative experience, low vibrations experience, and more we have the tendency to reproduce. But of course, it's unconsciously, we don't even think about it. For instance, if you take any example, we'll be like, I'm not going to do this because I already did it and I know that what's going to happen, right? How many people think of this for a second? How many of us do this? Oh, no, I'm not going to do this because I already did it and I know the conclusion. I know what's going to happen. Well, guess what? It's a pure assumption. Because it's not because the things happen on a negative way or badly in the past that the same experience gonna be bad again. It's up to us. It's just question of thought. If that's what we are thinking, of course, the experience gonna be negative again, right? But if we change, or if we just leave the trust, we trust life, we trust universe, I'm at exactly the right place, and there's any reason that the things turn bad for me, even though the same experience turned bad in the past. I don't know, you're driving on the certain road and you get the flat tire in the past, so you're like, oh no, I'm not going to take that road because I get the flat tire in the past. Well, who knows? You can take the road 1,000,000 times and you will never have any flat tires again, right? So what or how can we deter this type of thoughts coming up in our mind? How can we deter the negative thoughts to something's positive and eventually rise up our vibes? Because that's what we want, right? Well, just by being spectator instead of being just actor of our life. Just to take a step out, time break, no, how you said, yeah. You just a step out and you observe the situation and you're like, what if, all right, what if we always have the negative things, but we also have the positive things? What if I take the road and I don't get any flat tires, right? It's just a thought. So you programmed the thought, by your thought, you programmed what's going to happen. We manifested what's going to happen. So at the beginning, we almost feel we have to lie to ourselves. Force yourself to thinking positive. It's like you're watching a movie and you can guess the end of the story. Instead of guessing on a negative way, guess on a positive way. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be fine. It's not because in the past I took this road and I get the flat tire that I'm gonna get a flat tire again. Actually, no, not even. I'm gonna take the road and everything's gonna be okay. And even though you take the road and you get a flat tire, don't stay with that. Change your thoughts. It's going to change your chemical reaction into your body. And more you're going to do this, more you're going to break the habits of negative thought, which means low vibes. So that was my thought of the day, just by switching the countries, coming from Florida to France. And when we saw this attitude, when majority of people have this, and I guess it's because many times they had bad experience or bad thoughts, so their vibration went down, and now it's kind of habits, and we don't want that. We want the opposite. So force yourself to put a smile on your face. Force yourself to change any situation that you think eventually is going to be negative to something positive. Try many experiences. Try with a parking spot. Try instead of I'm not going to find any parking spot. Try the other way. I'm gonna find a parking spot. Of course, maybe 1, 2, 3 times you're not going to find a but next time I'm gonna find a parking spot, and you're gonna see at some point you're gonna find a parking spot. And this is just a little tiny example. When you can deter your thought negative to the positive, it becomes naturally. Because why? You create other chemical in your body, and your body becomes addict of those positive chemical reaction into your body. But that's coming by starting by your thoughts. That's the most important thing. So every time you have a little hesitation or whatever, don't forget, it's the story of the glass half empty or half full. Feel gratitude for what you have and deter the negative thoughts. Go and stay around 1, 2, maybe 3 friends who believe in yourself, who's going to bring you a smile on your face. And if you're alone, deter your negative thoughts by listening music, going for a walk, going closer to the nature, going to the ocean, play with your pets, calling your friends, watching some nice video on YouTube. Something's going to inspire you. Instead of putting your vibration low, put your vibration up. That's what the words need. And break the circle of negative thought and the repetition of negative experiences. Yes, that works. You're the only one to create a miracle here in this earth. It's a question maybe of God, universe, but it's starting by yourself, your heart and your thought. Be positive. Now put a beautiful smile on your face and go spread joy around you, at least for yourself. I will see you soon. Put some little video during the week. I'm kind of late, as I was saying on the short. Put some comments who's gonna help me to make that even better. Suggestion, I'm open. I'm learning. I don't take that on a negative way anyway. I keep learning every day from everybody. And then during the week, I'm gonna post a video which is relaxation, meditation. You can use for both. And I use myself every time that I'm ready for working out with my body to reconnect, first of all, to make the work even more effective. And in the meantime, I'm trying to enjoy Provence, south of France, and I will be here, not too far from you guys. All right? You take care of you, and you have a wonderful afternoon.